Rabbit and the Moon Man. Long ago, Rabbit was a great hunter. It was winter, and Rabbit set traps and laid snares to catch game for food. One day he discovered that some mysterious being was robbing his traps. First Rabbit thought that the robber might be a cunning wolverine, until one morning he found long, narrow footprints alongside his trapline. They looked like moonbeams. Rabbit made a trap from a bowstring with the loop so cleverly fastened that he felt certain that he would catch the robber when it came. He took one end of the thong with him and hid himself behind a clump of bushes from which he could watch his snare. The night was bathed in bright moonlight, but quite suddenly it became very dark as the moon disappeared. A few stars were still shining, and there were no clouds in the sky, so Rabbit wondered what happened to the moon. Someone or something came stealthily through the trees. Then Rabbit was almost blinded by a flash of bright, white light, which went straight to the trapline and shone through the snare which he had set. Quick as a lightning flash, Rabbit jerked the bowstring and tightened the noose. There was a sound of struggling, and the light lurched from side to side. It was so bright that it hurt his eyes. In the hopes of putting it out, Rabbit scooped up great pawfuls of soft clay from the stream and made many big balls. He was a good shot and threw the clay balls with all his force. He heard them strike hard, and then his prisoner shouted, "Why have I been snared? I demand to be set free at once. I'm the man in the moon, and I must be home before dawn." His face had been spotted with clay from Rabbit's clay ball attack. Rabbit's voice shook with fear as he told the man in the moon he would be released if he promised never to rob Snare again. To make doubly sure, Rabbit asked him to promise that he would never return to Earth, and the Moon Man, desperate to be free, duly swore that he would never come here again. Rabbit could hardly see in the dazzling light, but at last he managed to gnaw through the bowstring with his teeth, and the man in the moon soon disappeared in the sky, leaving a bright trail behind him. Rabbit had been nearly blinded by the great light, and even today, rabbits blink as though it is too strong for their eyes. Their eyelids are pink, and their eyes water if they look at a bright light. Their lips quiver, telling of Rabbit's terror. The man in the moon never returned to Earth. When he lights the world, one can see the marks of clay which Rabbit threw on his face. Sometimes he disappears for a few nights, when he is trying to rub the marks of the clay balls from his face. Then the world is dark for a time, but when the man in the moon appears again, one can see that he has never been able to clean the clay marks from his shining face.